I've read some other interviews with you from some Italian journalists, and I've noticed that when you realized Roberto Baggio was in the dressing room, what were you thinking?
I had the posters of Roberto Baggio in my room, so when I see him, I couldn't believe it. I was, how do you say, timoroso, no? I didn't know what to say, how to act. But when you, instead, when you, once you get to know these guys, you become to realize that their greatness comes from their simplicity. No, they are so humble, they are so normal. They are always laughing, do jokes. They are very normal guys. The difference is how they play football. That is the real difference. But they are really, really nice, normal guys. Once in the locker room, it was very, very normal. He went to talk to me. He asked me how I am. Then some jokes. Really relaxed atmosphere. But for me, it was like seeing God for me.
Yeah, it would have been like that for me as well. But a lot of people that listen to our podcast, they love Roberto Baggio, obviously.
One of the greatest. There is a song, not popular song, that the Sundays are not the same ones without Baggio in Italy. No, simply the game is not the same one without him.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same.
Yes.
And as a player, you also won a Serie C and a Supercoppa Serie C with Arezzo, even though you suffered a long-term knee injury.
Yes, even from Brescia, we win the championship from Brescia from second to first division, and in 99 as well.
So a Serie B title as well.
Yes.
I was trying to match up your coaching with your playing honors as well. So you've won a Serie D as a coach, you've won a Serie C, and you've won a Serie B as a player. So
yes.
Hopefully there's an omen there that maybe that will come back.
My daughter said to me that the A is missing. Now the letter A is missing because we have a C, we have a B on the T-shirt. That's now we have to put the letter A on the T-shirt.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that one day you'll get there. Tell us about the thesis to qualify as a professional coach. I understand at Brescia, you were caretaker coach for 4 games. You got 2 wins as well.
Yes.
Which is a 50% record. That's amazing in your 4 games. But you were not able to take the role as the official coach, obviously, because of the documentation needed.
Yes, of the license. Then it was a very hard time for Brescia because there was some serious problem financially, no? So it was a very, very hard time. I only wanted to help, no? I was under 20 coach. So they asked me to help the first team, and I did it gladly because I'm bond with Brescia very, because I played, I coached, my daughter is born there. So I started my career of 18. No?
And that was in 2014 when Ivo Iaconi was dismissed, and then you were called in. And then before Salvatore Giunta took the job, you actually got a 3-1 win over Frosinone.
It was a great win because there were players that were literally running away from Brescia because there was no payments. They were very scared about their careers because they didn't know anything about what was the future at the time. And it was very difficult to train at this time. But we went there and just played football. It was a great game. And in some way, we helped Brescia save, as a club. Then came the new investors. So it was a very great experience because you learn a lot about when you're in difficult situations. You learn a lot about yourself and about your job. So it was a good time for me.
And the thesis to actually gain your coaching qualifications, I'll just read something. Now, this is from the FIGC website that I'm going to read this from. And this is a loose translation into English because it's written in Italian. Your thesis is regarding the origins to the present day, intertwining the history of the game with personal experiences, who influenced you as a coach, from Lobanovsky to Liedholm to Bielsa and Guardiola and Sacchi, your interesting and historical take on football. And you also mention poets and writers in your thesis as well.
Yes. When I decided to leave the football as a player, because I was always injured, that I couldn't to continue to play at the same level that I was used to. I came to realize that I know very little about football, because as a player you think about yourself now. You don't think about the game and the complexity of everything. So when I started to train, I think I noticed that I do not know anything about football for real. So I started learning. So I told myself, where do I start? No, learning and to understand the game. And I come from I started from history. So I went to read all about the history of the game. I was trying to grow as a person, so I was always curious. I love to read not only about football but some other things. It's about the culture. So it was all the things come together. Right?
So personal growth and career growth, entwining those, and that's your journey. And going back to your more recent coaching career, I mean, you left Pro Patria after 4 years. In your first season, you promoted them from Serie D. Once you were in Serie C, in your first season, you finished 8th. Then in your final season, you got them to 5th. You left them, now they're 11th, as I was saying before. And meanwhile, you've won with Sudtirol in Serie C. This season, you drew twice with Pro Patria. Both of them were 0-0. Yes. Is this something that you were happy with at the end of the day, considering it was your former love and now you're with your...
Yeah, I was, from one side, I wasn't really happy because we didn't win, no. But at the end, at the other side, I was really pleased because there was a lot of my former players that I trained from 4 years, and I was glad from them because it looks like so I managed to leave them something because they drove with me that we were at the first in our league, and they were struggling and they were just great, and I was happy for them.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where if you're not going to win, well, at least it's against a team that you have in your heart.
Yeah, so. It was perfect in that moment for me. It was perfect. I was feeling well because 4 years are a lot for a trainer, and you live a lot of emotions, a lot of relationships. So I was glad pleased that I can in some way help a former team to get saved for the year.
The highest moment of the season, which was that for you?
Well, the last game, it was incredible, really incredible, because there was tension. There is a 1 year work at your back, and you played it in 90 minutes. It's really crazy if you think, no. So much work, so much passion, so much tears, so much sweat, no? And you played it in 90 minutes. It's a great game. So it was the greatest moment, the highest moment when Casiraghi scored 1-0. I was still tense because, how do you say, non mi fido tanto di gioco di calcio. How do you say it, David?
You're not too trusting in the way that the game
because the game of football, it's unpredictable. So you have to respect it. And so I did respect it. I didn't think we won it 1-0, but when we scored the 2-0 and when we know that Padova wasn't winning, then I was a little bit relaxed. I came to realize that we can win really the championship. It was a really crazy year with COVID, with so many games that we play from January until March, 18 games in 2 months. There was no one in Italy who played so many games. Even Champions League, they didn't play so much. So it was a really, really crazy year if you see it.
Incredibile. I was going to ask you about your favorite game. Is that the same game, or is there a different game that's your favorite?
There was some really great games that we played with Padova when we were 10 players missing from COVID at December. So it was a game where we didn't know how are we going to react, with that problem, and it was a very tight game. Then I realized that we have a mentality, winning, that we came out of the problems. We didn't care about what was going to happen, but we only played our game with great consciousness, and it was a great moment for us.
You have the summer to reform and restructure and plan. What are you expecting the first maybe month of Serie B?
Well, it will be very difficult. I was just told in the press that we have to learn how to lose, because we are now this year we learn how to win. Now to have a really winning mentality, we have to learn how to lose. It is a difficult process, because you have to know how to come over the difficulty, how to emotionally, tactically, you have to work. It will be a difficult process, because you have to learn to be great and to save yourself. You have to learn how to lose. It will be a process very important for us.
Those are very wise words from an aspiring coach that has had a team that has won so much, and that you're going into a tougher league. There's some huge opponents in there, and you'll also be facing some former teammates, possibly, as coach. As Giovanni Stroppa's there at the moment in Monza. They might be in Serie A or not. We'll see. And who knows? Even Andrea Pirlo might come back in as a coach at some point.
It's not impossible. You said it well, David.
And there's also World Cup stars like Alessandro Nesta, Fabio Grosso with Frosinone. Both of those players coach there. And it's an amazing league. And just in case you don't know, it is broadcast around the world. So
it is great. It is great.
It's great. It's a great moment. And even Serie C is as well, for those of you who don't know, who want to follow a team and are listening to this today and want to subscribe. Make sure you check out where to watch Serie C and Serie B, because Sudtirol is going to be in the second division of. And with that, I want to wish you well. I hope that we can speak again before the next season begins. We'll see what happens in the summer, hopefully.
Yes. And it will be my pleasure, David. Thank you very much for your time. It was great spending time with you.
Absolute pleasure, Ivan. You're very kind to accept the invitation as well. I have one very important question for you at the end. Gorgonzola or burrata? Which do you prefer?
Burrata all the way.
All the way.
All the way. Even I was growth in the north. I always lived at the north. In 25 years, I only lived at Crotone for some years. But I'm from Split, and Split is a town at the sea. So my mentality is very near about South Italy. So everything that comes from South Italy, it is just great for me. Burrata, bufala, mozzarella di bufala, I love it. Bufala, burrata all the way.
The food of champions and the food of Serie C champions. We'll leave it there, and we hope that you all enjoyed today's interview with the Sudtirol coach, Ivan Javorčić. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk soon.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, David. Grazie mille, veramente.
Grazie mille, and good luck. And your English is very, very good.
Thank you. I was struggling, but with the time I will become better.
This is a good allenamento. Because in Serie B you might have to speak a little bit more English.
Bravo, ci vuole allenamento, e quindi è una questione di abitudine, è che lo parlo poco qua, e quindi speriamo di parlarlo più spesso, dai.
Let's hope. If you need to speak English, give me a call anytime.